Hey there, this is Tom with Tom's Tech Show. Today we're kind of talking about everything, a little bit of Disney, a little bit of Marvel. So let's go. Okay, hey there, this is Tom with Tom's Tech Show. Today we're going to kind of cover little bits and pieces of things. Of course, here I'm looking at the El Capitan website. We know that uh, Endgame tickets are going to be put on sale very soon. The rumor of April 2nd seems to be more plausible now. Um, and if I look over here at the Cinemark website, they actually have dates and times here, although they are not clickable. So we know when they're going to be. I do believe that somewhere in here, Cinemark has a fan event as well, but that's just the movie, not a marathon of any kind. So I do have some scripts that this script here looks into the web cache staging of images from the El Capitan Theater. So if we look here, it's gotten all the way up to just the Dumbo. They haven't posted and loaded the cache up for the Endgame tickets. They will probably do that on Monday if they're going to go on sale Tuesday, or maybe they'll do it late Monday night. I kind of see these cached images come up and get populated then. So tickets are getting close. The hour is upon us for Endgame, and like many, I think with the direction that Marvel may be going, kind of the Last Jedi direction afterwards, maybe this will be the Endgame will be the end, right? For many people, maybe instead of going to see every film, people will start just picking their own, nitpicking their own characters. So they're just going to go see, I like this character, so I'm going to go see this film instead of buying into the whole thing and having to continually go again and again, to all the different ones to make sure you get the whole timeline. Maybe this whole arc of how much, the 10-year arc and everything, maybe this phase that we've gone through, maybe it's over. Maybe that's, getting the fan so involved where you have to go see everything. Maybe that's done. I mean, I'm definitely getting there after I haven't seen Captain Marvel, of course. I've said that several times in the past videos, but maybe that's, I'll see it when the marathon is, and I'll kind of make, kind of an assessment then as to how it is and how big of a role Captain Marvel plays and what identity politics and all that stuff get brought into the end. We haven't seen that much with the Russo brothers, so maybe that's a good thing, that they're the ones at the helm and not anybody else, right? So that would be good. Okay, so I did make a video on the directors of Captain Marvel, and they probably put out the best film that they could do, right? The team that let me see IMDb here, not to do this on the fly, which is fine. So I think they just did the best movie that they could probably do. The other movies, some of the other movies that they've done, this Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. I mean, they've partnered together on other films and stuff, and just not been. I mean, I watched this. Which one did I watch? I watched Mississippi Grind, and oh my gosh, was that a grind to try and even get through? Seriously, don't even bother watching that unless you've got a lot of time and something else just to watch that. Just gives me chills. So that's the kind of movie that these, they're used to making, this whole team. So I think we maxed them out. Like, this is the best that they can do because they bring all of their politics and all of their identity and everything else into it. So I don't think if they did another one, I don't think we would get anything better if they keep carrying them on with the same directorial team and writing team, because they also wrote Captain Marvel. I don't think we would get any further because it's, unless they bring on different writers and some different directors, any other Captain Marvel property is going to be the same kind of mediocrity, from what I've been seeing in people reviews and everything else, that I've watched. Okay, well, not to be a downer on Endgame, that it's going to be bad or anything. I think the Russo brothers are definitely going to give us and the movie that we kind of want and pay homage to, the original six and all that. I think they're gonna be the ones that are gonna kind of save the end of it here. Rumors notwithstanding in the background that they didn't really want to add Captain Marvel to it and blah blah blah, back and forth. We've seen these different reports about the studio and them going back and forth about whether they should add Captain Marvel actually to Endgame and things like that. Who knows? Maybe someday there'll be a big behind the scenes report, tell all story about it. I know some of these people are leaving, so maybe that'll be, we'll get somebody's biography that tells the real story, from their real story from their perspective. Hey, that's always good, right? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to move on to here, since we're kind of been doing a mixed bag, is let's go look at the calendar first about Endgame. So this here Easter Sunday is the last day that they're playing Dumbo, and then so nothing is playing at the El Capitan all the way up until they don't have anything scheduled. So typically the movie would open on the 26th, which means you would get Friday previews. So we have the 24th and all the way up to into the 25th for the marathon. So then after that would be the previews and the Thursday showings of the regular showings for the movie. So that space is definitely open and ready for a marathon. They're not pushing anything up against it. That gives them 2 days to reset the theater. And El Capitan, it's a huge thing because what ends up happening is they bring in props and photos and costumes and things like that and relay out the entire theater for the film. It's not just change the movie and the reel and maybe a poster on the wall. That's why going to the El Capitan is such a great place to go see these films that Disney makes, because they have a basement downstairs. They completely deck out the basement with, like I said, props, costumes, production set photos, all kinds of things. And then some of the costumes upstairs they have in big glass cases. They have a big settings, usually several settings there where you can get photographs taken with big posters, or even people dressed up as characters from the film. They do it all out. They don't go halfway, right, at all. So that's always good about seeing it at the El Capitan Theater. So if you're in LA and there's a movie you want to see and it's a Disney movie, definitely get tickets. Go to the El Capitan. Won't be disappointed. Okay. So next thing, we did renew our passes on Saturday for Disneyland. Coming up, the Galaxy's Edge is going to be opening soon, so we wanted to make sure to have our passes ready and all that. There were some rumors from people that I was hearing that we definitely needed to get our passes because there was a potential that there was going to be a freeze on different passes. So certain passes might not be able to be renewed, or you wouldn't be able to buy new ones. You would only be able to renew your passes. So different things, the over a million, I think they have over 1 million annual pass holders at Disneyland. So it gets crowded, right? And if you couldn't fit all 1 million at the same time into the parks, but usually only 80,000 people could be there, and that is super crowded. But one thing we did find, and I was surprised how much I really thought it was worth it, was the MaxPass. So typically, if you're in the park and you need a fast pass, right? So to get you into a shorter line to get onto a ride, if you haven't been to a Disney park, which some people haven't, but for those of you that already know this, MaxPass may be the next option for you. So there are two lines. There's a shorter line that you have to go to the ride ahead of time, put your ticket into the machine, and it gives you out a little thing that says, come back in a half hour, come back in 45 minutes. something like that. So that the theory, of course, is to get you out of that line and into a store buying stuff. That, I think, was the original theory. If people are in line, then they're not buying merchandise and food. So, it's a good theory, and I'm sure in a certain percentage that it works. But when you can also go get a pass and then go get in a different line, go ride another ride, and then come back and ride the ride you have the fast pass for. Well, that means you have to walk to the ride that you want to go on and get the pass, and then walk across the park or wherever you're going to be. Like if you're going from, the Haunted Mansion and you want to get on and ride Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, then you have to walk all the way across the park, get your ticket, your fast pass at Astro Blasters, and walk all the way back to Haunted Mansion. And then when the time comes for your fast pass to be good, then you go back to Astro Blasters, back and forth. So with MaxPass, we were able to be anywhere, and in our app, you just pull the app up on your phone, you grab your phone, you go to the app and get your group together and select that and select the rides you want to get fast passes for, and then you can get your fast passes without walking to the other ride. So when we were in line for a ride, we would just say, okay, what ride do we want to go on next? We would get the fast pass for it, and we would be able to, within 20 or 30 minutes maybe be able to go on the next ride. So it just made a huge difference in, how we move through the park and how quickly we could go and how long we spent in lines and stuff. It was, it is an upcharge. Like if you don't have an annual pass with the MaxPass already, which is the Signature Plus, which is the only one that includes it, then it is $15 per day. So that is another, if you have a big group, if you have a group of 4, then that's going to be $60 a day. So, it might be worth it for a group to do it like for one, if you're staying for several days, to do it for one day. But it just made a whole difference in our day and how we move through the parks. There are definitely rides that don't have fast passes still, and you will not be able to use fast passes to get into Galaxy's Edge. That is by appointment only. So, and I don't know how that's going to work yet. They say the people we talked to at the park said they're still kind of figuring it out a little bit. They don't know, is it going to be, it's going to be probably kind of loaded into the Fast Pass area where you go and try and select your time. So, and when those are going to be available in the morning for each person to go into, get their Fast Pass for it, whether you're going to have to do it in the app or go to a machine somewhere, because they do have machines that are mobile, like for Fantasmic. They have some big booths that will kick out the they're kind of fast pass. It's kind of more of a ticket for the showing. They have those, and it gives you different areas and zones to go to when you go to Fantasmic. But they will use something like that to allow some people to go and just put their ticket in and see if they can get entry into Galaxy's Edge. I can see people who have Signature Plus who have added MaxPass, maybe that will allow them to get, into Galaxy's Edge sooner, because you can do it on an app, maybe as you're even walking into the park. Like once the park opens at 8 and fast passes become available, you'll be able to jump on and do it right then. So these are all still things that are kind of, up in the air. So just from, people that we've been talking to at the park and how things are going to work, it's going to be interesting. I think the goal definitely is to keep the number of people to a manageable size inside that area. And the other thing, and I mentioned this the other day, the other thing I saw was that one thing I keep watching is Star Tours. What's the line for Star Tours? When Star Tours first reopened, and up until about a year ago, that line was gigantic. It was always an hour. It was always, something crazy, and let me open up my Disney app right now, because I can look and see what the line is right now. And lately, it just has not been. It's just been, okay. Right now it's 25 minutes, which is almost, don't get Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is 35 minutes, right? What is happening with people, going to. I would think if people are waiting for Star Wars Land and they want as much Star Wars as they can, that they would be going on Star Tours, right? That they would want that. But I don't see that right now. And I just see, I think it's kind of a fall off of, The Last Jedi and the Solo film. I think it's made an impact on the fans, and I think people are kind of standoffish about it. A lot of people and other fans that I talked to were like, yeah, I don't, why do I need to go on Star Tours? Because that's just going to remind me of the fact that that property is, is going away. And I think that might be, and maybe Disney will find that, the Galaxy's Edge, after the first initial rush of people, maybe it will calm down so much that, they'll be able to let it be open to everybody whenever they want to go in there. So I don't know. It's up in the air. I mean, it seems they've done so much to make it so authentic. That's what's going to be really cool. And hopefully there will be, maybe if attendance in it and interest in it goes down after it opens, maybe they'll add a few of the original trilogy items, to try and help bring back the nostalgia group, and I guess, I don't know, I saw, Star Wars when it first came out, as a little kid. I think I was 11 years old and just was blown away, driving back home from the theater. My parents driving, I was in the back seat. I had my eyes closed, and I would look up at the stars, and in my head were flying battle scenes and everything else, and TIE fighters and X-Wings and everything the whole time. Just that was in my head. I remember that vividly, just going, reenacting battles in my head and stuff after seeing the film and stuff. It was awesome, But now it's like too much politics, too much repeat, too much blah characters, too much, there's no childlike excitement, about it. And I guess I miss that, the most. There's no awe and wonder of, wow, that was amazing kind of thing, right? So I don't know, we'll see. We got these are two Disney things that are coming up, and hopefully Endgame will, keep me going and make me interested in seeing the next, Marvel film. It's going to depend, right? How much Captain Marvel, how much not Captain Marvel. All right. Well, thanks for watching this video. I do videos like this every so often, and usually 3 to 4 times a week. I'll make a video and drop it. It's about like this, Marvel and Disney, and sometimes I'll do TV shows, things like that. I do my cameras. I don't know where my camera is. I do things about photography. I did, been posting some images of the Santa Cruz Island trip that I took. I actually ran around yesterday at Disneyland, didn't take one picture, and it was nice just to not have to stop. And, it was very crowded, so I didn't really want to try and bring a big camera gear set and everything else. And we weren't staying till super late, but it was fun. It was good. I also do videos about technology things. People have put in suggestions for different items for me to make videos about, and I've done those. So if you got some technical problem that you're having problems with, just post that as a comment on one of those videos, and if I see it, I'll bring it up and make a video about it, see if we can help you out. All right. Well, thanks for watching this. This is Tom's Tech Show. Take care.